What's up, world? This is We Need a Fifth. This your man Mo. Got my man Hill in the building.
A little melancholy day, it feels like, man. We all wearing black.
Got my man P on the line.
Yeah, all black for Arizona, Purdue. Who else?
It's my
Mem-
deep run team, Memphis,
Memphis.
Don't forget Texas A&M.
Vir- Oh, let's not forget Virginia.
Virginia.
And we don't want to leave the ladies out. Don't forget North Carolina State.
Wolfpack.
Oh, and just to throw a little curveball out there, let y'all know we watching everything. Spencer Lee. He lost two yesterday in the semifinals against. But fellas, let's get to the real story here. March Madness has begun. I don't know about you guys, but I know for me personally, this has been one of the craziest tournaments I've viewed personally. This is truly March Madness. You have a whole bunch of upsets. Some teams that didn't perform up to expectations. Some teams playing beyond expectations. What are your thoughts on the first round of the NCAA men's tournament?
Highly unpredictable, very entertaining. March Madness. I guess the true definition of it. I think that's the reason why we always watched it, even as kids growing up and loving the sport and playing it, like we did. I think I find it always intriguing that Memphis losing last night killed the final perfect ballot. Who out there had this? How was this done? Was this a computer? Was this, like Johnny Five? Who had a perfect ballot up to Memphis?
Yeah. No, just to echo what Hill said, man. It's one of the most exciting. It takes you back to when you was a kid. You first started watching the NCAA. You know what I mean? Personally, I haven't watched the tournament like in a good 3-4 years. Not seriously, I'll go in and out or whatever. But this year,
Casually,
I casually watched the regular season, but not really. But the conference tournaments I was in, so I was planning to really watch the tournament this year, and I found out I know nothing about college basketball because I tried.
I
And
think
this,
none of us do. I think
like,
as a whole, the world doesn't. And I think that's what makes it such a level playing ground for everyone to jump in. You got casual. I mean, I had casual co-workers who I never thought watch any basketball, and come to find out they don't.
and they probably
But
did as good as you.
right, you know what I mean?
Oh
Because
no,
about
everyone. Yeah,
yeah, and then
yeah,
their
yeah.
baskets are better than mine, and they get that enjoyment. I think everything fits in to coincide, I guess, with St. Patrick's Day, with celebrations. It's just that
Yeah,
whole feel, and the libations flowing, the Patty's Day, like I said before, and the games just seem to intertwine. It's just like a perfect mesh of celebration, and it's been fun to watch bars and households and everything that matters. So it's a great time of the year.
absolutely.
One of the things that always strikes me is just being able to see the beginning journeys of future NBA stars, or future NBA talent, even if it's not a starter or something like that. But I think I would be remiss in not mentioning all the upsets this tournament has produced thus far in this first round. Um, I want to start off with the biggest one thus far that happened last night that's really fresh in my memory. That Purdue loss. Who saw that coming? And I guess when you really do your homework on Purdue and how they've been performing in the tournament the last couple of years, it shouldn't be surprising because they've lost at least 3 times to double-digit seeds in the tournament in the past. But this really threw me for a whammy here. It totally destroyed my bracket. What about you guys? How did you see the Purdue game?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. It's no, I think that East region Purdue, and we'll get to it. Purdue and Memphis going down. That killed. That killed everybody. You know what I mean? Because pretty much everybody had one or the other reaching the Sweet 16.
Right.
And you said the biggest upset thus far. That's pretty much the biggest upset of all time. And I don't think it'll be topped. It won't be topped in this tournament because that's it. A 16 beat a 1. Like you really can't get any bigger.
I was trying to soften the blow, but since you want to throw Purdue under the bus, let's really talk about it. That team shouldn't even been in the tournament. That team lost their conference championship, and the only reason why they were in the tournament is because the conference champions were transferring to Division I, and the NCAA has an archaic rule that says that any school that's transferring to the Division I must sit out the NCAA tournament for at least 4 years during that transfer period. So, in all actuality, FDU is the 17th seed, if you want to be really technical about it. FDU is ranked, I think they have a real ranking of 257 in the NCAA. Like, this is beyond, like you said, this is historic.
Yeah.
And I don't know what you do at Purdue, because I doubt you're gonna have Eddie there. I think he's going into the draft. When do you start talking about the coach? Because I believe this gentleman has been there for all 4 of these upsets. The 3 previous upsets where they lost the double-digit seeds, and this historic upset. Do we start talking about, hey, this coach's ability to coach in a big time arenas or during the spotlight?
Yeah, even in his press conference, he said that he expects that to come, and that's good because it is going to. You know what I mean? I think relatively speaking, I think his job security is he's okay because it's Purdue. You know what I mean? Because I don't think the expectations are as high. Now, if this was a blue bud, Kentucky, North Carolina, Duke, UCLA, Kansas, then I would be a little bit more worried for his job security. But Purdue,
correct me if I'm wrong. But correct me if I'm wrong, Pete. Weren't they the number 1 overall seed?
No. I think it's like either Houston or Alabama, maybe.
Alabama.
Okay.
But either way, I don't think that lessens the blow. Like this was, like I said, this is historically bad on his part. I thought it was like bad coaching. You know what I mean? Like the tallest
they
player
never adjusted.
The tallest player on the other team is 6'6". You have the best big man in the nation by far. And he did not score. He didn't get a field goal. Not even score. He didn't get a field goal attempt in the last 9 minutes of the game. That's coaching. That's bad. So I'm not trying to excuse the bad coaching because I think it was horrendous, which is crazy. Because I watched him all season. He did a good job. I don't know what happened last night, but I think that the fact that it's Purdue, they won't be so quick to pull the trigger and get rid of him.
Yeah, and on top of that, you got to think to get Eddie, to get Jaden Ivey to his school, that means at least step 1 he is productive, and that's recruiting. That's the main thing.
Yeah, okay.
And having it being put to paper and then executed in the tournament, that's another thing. I think he has some leeway down the road, but not much. He has a few years to start, but like for the simple fact of getting these kids in these programs and getting eyes on the program, I think Matt Payne will be fine for a while. I mean, that plays a part. I mean, we've seen this with John Calipari, rotating, really good players to great players later into his program and not correlating to championships. But the main thing is, it's a mill, it's a factory. You know what I mean? You're being able to bring these big players to a Midwest school. Says quite a bit. So it's not as surprising to me. I really was itching on getting them knocked out the first round. I didn't want to pull it, but I definitely had them knocked out the second round.
Mm.
But it's their style of play. You know what I mean? I I think he didn't get too many touches, but I think Eddie's style of play is not, to me, tournament friendly. It's regular season friendly.
Mm.
I like the way teams pretty much scheme on the really good teams, the lower echelon teams, due to the fact of their restrictions with height and sometimes talent. Sometimes they'll hold the ball and they'll make every possession crucial. And that's what you see with the uber talented teams, feel like they have more possessions and take it for granted. And I thought I thought the first statement meant true with Purdue. I just didn't think they were that great, but they were a really good regular season team, in which the way they played, they was able to draw things out. When rubber hit the road, it just didn't seem like they were it. I mean,
Yeah, I think those freshman guards that they have in Purdue kind of got exposed. They weren't able to adjust to what the pressure FDU was bringing. Um, I think at times the moment was too big for them, and it showed. You had numerous instances where the guards, their wing players, weren't taking open shots or missing open shots, wide open shots, where hey, nobody was closing out. At one point, FDU was daring them to shoot, jumpers, and sitting in Eddie's lap. And for some reason or another, Purdue was not able to take advantage of those opportunities. Um, I think they shot 19% from 3-point range, 38% overall, I think, for the entire game. They just weren't making shots. And like I said, for the majority of those shots, they were just wide open shots. It just felt like, hey, the moment was caught up to them, and the lights were a little too bright, or somebody left the door open and the wind was gusting. But for whatever reason, they weren't able to hit wide open jumpers.
yeah, no, I mean, like I said, he had one field goal in the last 12 minutes, and going into that, he 21 points and 15 rebounds. Apparently, he should have got the ball a little bit more, even though he was fumbling the ball and it looked like the guy has bad hands. It was just maybe the pressure of the defense they were playing. But you cannot mistake 21 and 15 without scoring without getting an offensive play call for you within the last minutes. That's awful.
Yeah. And I felt that, like I said, Purdue just failed to make adjustments. There were moments in the game where FDU changed up their defense and applied more pressure, or was sitting home on Eddie, and the guards and the wing players for Purdue failed to take advantage of driving lanes and opportunities to, like I said before, hit open jumpers. They were at one point they had 4 guys sitting on Edie, and the ball was still out on the perimeter. And they basically dared Purdue, hey, make a jump shot. We'll stay here with the big guy.
Yeah,
Purdue never adjusted.
Well, I don't. I mean, someone who is 7'4" and they're building a wall and they can't hit an open shot, there's no adjustment to it. They're just not that good. And that's the whole game plan is, you're going to converge on the big man. He's going to jam up driving lanes anyway because of his height in general. You know what I mean? But they were able to get the initial pass in, and I thought if he reposts, but no, hats off to the defensive call. They said, we're going to let you beat us from the outside, and they missed shots.
And only reason why I say that with the guards is I felt, especially in the second half, there were opportunities to dribble drive, penetrate in, and do like a little scoop pass to Eddie once you got the because they were
His hands are bad.
Oh yeah.
His hands are bad. That's just way more of an advanced play. His reaction is not good. I mean, the initial post pass to him is the best pass they have, and he has one dribble, like most bigs at that time, will have one dribble to make a jump sky hook or a turn face, but that's the reason why I love the tournament. Usually, a turn and face is a charge because they're right under you. So that's not just Matt Painter. That's just the quintessential dominant big man in college sports when it comes to the tourney anyway. Like, it's not meant for those, physical behemoths to dominate the tourney. I don't want to make it an intelligence factor, but
No,
just
I kind of
the
yeah.
bigs have played, it just seems like you see them being limited before it happens. I see charges and everything before anything happens when I'm watching a tournament.
Yeah, I think historically, with the exception, I mean, Olajuwon, Ewan, maybe the most recent Greg Oden, you pretty much need like a skilled big man. You know what I mean? Not your textbook low post big man in the tournament. You know what I mean? And even those guys, it's mostly because of their defensive prowess was what really galvanized their teams to get that far. But yeah, yeah,
Call out
yeah.
the times Anthony Davis.
Yeah, and even in the Anthony Davis case, it was really him as a defensive player is really
Yeah.
carried. It was really what carried. So either you have to be like an all-world defensive player, like performance like Ewing, Olajuwon, Anthony Davis, or a more skilled big man. A la as a V fan and a Fat Five fan, it kills me. A Christian Laettner.
Mm-hmm.
And Hills brought that up last night actually. In a Discord group chat, we need a fifth.
Shout out to
Shameless
this.
plug. But yeah.
Yeah, shout out to all our fifths out there joining us on the Discord discussion during March Madness. You find a link on our Facebook page,
Yeah.
Instagram.
Wherever you're watching this now,
So,
the link will be in the description. Join us all the whole entire tournament. We in there.
So if there's a game being played during March Madness, 9 times out of 10 you're going to catch one of us in the Discord talking about the game and giving our thoughts on the tournament so far. Fellas, let me ask you this. A lot of people, I know me and P were talking about this the other day. A lot of people have projected Eddie to go in the second round. Do you think that has changed because of this game?
I think it confirmed that he'll be going into the second round. I was at the thought that he should be like at least a first rounder. You know what I mean? I thought just seeing how he played in the regular season, even knowing that a franchise would have to buy into having a low post player and committing your franchise to surround him with shooters and everything. But after this performance, which wasn't horrible, but it really shows like if you're not committed to playing that way, he could get lost in the sauce, basically.
Yeah, and he's limited.
Yeah.
And I think it's also unfair in a sense to him because we have Wembanyama coming out as well, and I think people, at least basketball heads, have Wembanyama on the brain as far as 7-footers that are supposed to be lottery picks and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I know for myself, I personally, when I'm thinking about Eddie in the NBA draft, I compare him to Wembanyama, and I'm saying, all right, how does he stack up? And that's why I'm secure in the fact that he's probably in the second round.
Yeah.
Honestly, I thought after last night's game, he might be G League right now. I don't know, because I mean, those are the type of guards that you're going to be dealing with in the NBA. Those athletic, fast, quick guards that's annoying, sticking their hands into passing lanes. And he didn't show, like Hill was saying before, his hands. Oh my God. He has it looked like, especially in the second half, like he had bricks for hands, and he couldn't catch anything and couldn't hold on to anything. And that's really concerning because I think that's part of the reason why he wasn't able to dominate FDU. Some of those passes he just couldn't catch.
7-4. I mean, I would try to personally. I would try to get him in the first round. We talked about it yesterday. I know you guys are probably anticipating GMs to go really low on him, and it's understandable if they do, but they also went low on a player who he reminds me of actually right now, and that's the Joker. The Joker was a second round pick as well. Not seeing who he is right now, but who the Joker developed into. I mean, Joker wasn't like who he is now, and Zach could progress. You know what I mean? There's no changing 7-4 and getting him into a good institution in the NBA and making something of it. And Joker is not. I mean, Zach's defense right now is better than Joker's.
Oh, yeah.
That's one. So he can turn into something. I think if he gets into a nice organization, I'm hoping he gets a first round pick. I love the whole 7-4 mentality as it is, and I think he has a decent offensive package if someone could get and work with him. You can't substitute height, and I haven't checked the 30 players or 31, 32 players that could precede him, but I'm going on a limb, and I think he's better than one of them.
All right. Go ahead, Hill. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, I don't think that it should hold him from being a first round pick, and I know the projections, but I got to see the other people and who they are.
Let me ask you this then, and I know this is on the spot question, and hopefully you have an answer for me. Are there any NBA teams that you think could use a guy like Eddie?
Every single one of them. Every single one of them.
Who needs them the most? If there was is there a team that you say, hey, you definitely should?
My team right off the back, the Lakers.
Okay.
They need it. You know what I mean? Like he has I'm stuck in between, and he's not better than either one of them, but I'm stuck in between Gobert at the least, Zubac in the middle, and Joker. I have decent expectations for Eddie. You know what I mean? If he becomes a Zubac, that's really good. Zubac is a destruction on the offensive and defensive boards. And he has a good enough limited offensive package, which is physicality and dunking, and Zach is just taller than. If he can give me something like that, he'll be a monster. Zubac quietly is a monster for the Clippers. So, I mean, you don't need much. You just need to be very good in your limitations, and that's destroy the boards and be an offensive. I mean, be a factor down low, and that'll be good enough. But my team, some Lakers could use them.
P, the same question to you. Is there a team out there that, hey, you think this team needs a Eddie?
This is a roundabout answer. I think there are, but I don't think they know it. You know what I mean? Like I think a lot of teams are okay with having a 6'9" center because that's just the way the NBA is played. That being said, I think Dallas and Toronto could use them because I feel like they really don't have a 7-foot on their roster of any significance. And I think that could help them, help them a lot. But again, like I said earlier, the organization would have to commit to, utilizing them correctly. And not just as a shot blocker to come in. Go ahead.
I'm surprised you guys didn't mention Golden State, especially after the failed Wiseman experiment.
And that's the reason you wouldn't want. I mean,
Okay.
big fits there. It seems like it doesn't fit their program. I don't know
Yeah,
if
yeah,
he's just as skilled as well. I mean, you just don't want to plug a big man just to have a big man. I think they're a hybrid organization, and I think they need a decent runner. I mean, Wiseman offensively to me is better than Looney, but it's not close. Looney's a way better fit than James Wiseman. It just doesn't,
yeah,
seem to work with that running style with Golden State.
yeah, yeah. I could see a couple of actually plays in this tournament that would be better fits, more a better fit than Edie. The kid from Indiana,
Mm-hmm.
and also I think it's Flipowski. Forgive me if I
Right,
mispronounce this wrong, for Duke.
right.
I think those guys would be better fits for Golden State. Yeah, because you really just want like a Looney type of player. You really, we're not posting up Edie if you're Golden State. We're not waiting around for that.
You never want to you never want to make the nuclear cardinal mistake of passing up on Wembanyama, but his career is gonna just erode in Houston. I mean, Edie would be better in Houston, but you could never justify picking Zach Edey over Wembanyama down there with those guys. Like that's a place where they should start. Like he would be good in San Antonio, but you can't. This is generational talent that you're looking at. Wembanyama, it's just not going to happen. But I can see him on a slew of teams. He's a pop specialty. If they actually had a decent coach and ran an organization, he would be a Houston, especially following after Dream and
yeah, that would have been perfect for him. But like you said, that organization
Yeah,
is trash now.
Yeah, I agree with San Antonio. If I'm a draft pick, I pray I don't go to Houston.
Yeah, no one does. No one, like I said, you need a coach and a whole organization enema. But with the talent surrounding him, and he wouldn't need as much touches. That is, he's taller than Sengun, and then he would be more, of a presence down low and cleanup man on the board side. And so, to me, he fits with quite a few NBA teams.
Okay. Talked about Purdue and the massive upset. Hey guys, let us know, where do you rank this Purdue upset? Is it the historic upset that we're talking about? Let us know. Hit us up on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit that notification button so you know when the next video is coming out. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen to your podcast. And you can email us directly at weneedafifth@gmail.com. Fellas, Purdue wasn't the only upset of the first round. You had a couple of teams out there that massive upsets. Arizona was upsetted. Yeah, Memphis, even though I had them losing in the first round on my bracket, Memphis was upset. You also had Texas A&M, who was upset by Penn State. I did not see that coming. I don't even know it. Purdue was such a big upset for me that these other upsets kind of fell by the wayside outside of the Arizona, because that came up first. But where are you guys at with these upsets? How surprised on the scale of 1 to 10? 10 being old. I didn't see this coming, or 0, this was expected. With Arizona, I had them, I believe, going to the Sweet 16 at the very least. Where were you guys at with Arizona?
Yeah, I actually had Arizona go to the Sweet 16 also, but as we and Hill discussed, like I just didn't. It was more because of who they were playing. I didn't believe in who they were playing, but they just whatever it is, they clearly didn't have it. I saw them like in the Pac-12 tournament, and even when they were winning, I was just underwhelmed by the team.
I mean, that's the Pac-12 in general. You know what I mean? Like, I have more faith in the Big Sky, Mountain West. You know what I mean? Pac-10 is just so laissez-faire in how they play basketball. Again, uber talented players in there from or we don't have to name them, but they just tend to not make runs deep from the. I mean, a Sweet 16 run for a Pac-10 team is an impressive run for me. They just come up short all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't dismiss the fact that Arizona, I just seem to can't get it right. I mean, God rest Olsen. I mean, he just knew how to coach.
Yeah. Want to get to a team that you both pretty much favor or were fans of this season, Memphis with Penny Hardaway. I wasn't convinced that the team was mature enough to make a substantial run in the tournament, and I felt that older team might have their way with this squad. That's why I picked them to lose in the first round. But you guys had them going a little bit further ahead. Were you guys surprised by the loss? I know it was the last second, buzzer beater type loss, but
yeah. I mean, I just saw them decimate a Houston squad. I can't say so much for me immaturity. I just think it was just a fact of overconfidence and just really people not taking their opposition that serious. You see when they're down 4 or 5. I tend to get nervous. I don't care what time it is, and inside a tournament game when it comes to upsets, they feel that their superior talent is always going to override, and I'm always thinking danger zone because I've watched so many tournaments to know that each possession is crucial, and I think that's where the favorites need to instruct their players on, like they should really think of each basket being, for lack of a better term, a life or death situation. And these small teams and tend to know that, and they have nothing to lose. So everything. I mean, you get to play free. You're gonna have a little bit of leniency to me with the Zebras. So, David Thor's gonna have an upper edge going into these tournaments, and then you just see the pressing of athleticism usually turns into turnovers, sloppy play, offensive fouls because you're pressing, you're thinking that win should be yours. And I just don't know how to go into these games prepping for these, these smaller schools. I see it all the time. You know what I mean? But it was disappointing with they played for things like they couldn't just pull away. I mean, the bettors had it at a close, 2.5, then it went to 2. So they apparently know way more than I did. But I thought that the way they played with Houston and Davis getting hurt, I don't know. I mean, shout out to Florida Atlantic too, though. I mean, they do play people, so it's not like Memphis was, in there with some bums or anything of that nature. But I was expecting them to win this and then, have this catapult them at least to a Sweet 16, maybe Elite 8 run.
And speaking of Houston, I think part of the reason why I kind of discounted the Memphis win over them in their conference championship is that I know Houston's one of their main guards, I believe Sasser, he got hurt during that game. So that's where I kind of gave Houston the benefit of the doubt, more so than Memphis, in the sense that I felt that Sasser's not being able to complete that game made it so that, hey, Memphis could beat them in the conference championship. I feel like if Houston was completely healthy, I don't think Memphis would have beaten them.
Beaten, yes, not mauled. They were mauled. You know what I'm saying? Saxon not being there is a different show, but they lost. They were plus 20.
And I think for Houston, for this Houston team, Sasser is that important. But we'll see. We'll see today. I think tonight. I think they play Auburn tonight, Houston in the second
Right,
round,
but
I think Sasser's going to be out.
Right, and as he should be. But I think going into that game, I think he was hurt going into that game, though. I think he had a groin injury going into that game.
And I think, like I said,
He
for
hasn't played
me,
prior to that.
for
That
made sense.
You know what I'm saying? Samson has a good team. Houston's been like they played games going up to that game without him. You know what I'm saying? Like it happens. You throw up a clunker. It's like for him not being there, they did make the conference championship game.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So it's not like if he is that person, they should have got knocked out in the first round of that team. They have a good team.
I mean, they almost did.
I mean, because if just by definition, if he's that, they shouldn't even made it to the conference championship game. And I think there's still an overall number one. So, but listen, we'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like Stats is the Jimmy Jackson of that team. I mean, he's pretty good.
Okay. Like I said, we'll see. Second round, I think he's going to be sitting out. He aggravated his injury in the first round trying to play with them.
Right.
They were able to pull it out, and now they got Auburn, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah. I mean, I think he should have sat out the first two games, assuming I thought that they were that good of a team that they should be able to at least to make the Sweet 16.
Let's start predicting the next round. Who do you like to go to come out the second round? Right now, let's start in let's start with the Midwest, since we already started with Houston. What do you guys think about Houston Auburn matchup?
I think they're similar teams actually, but I'll go with Houston on that one. I just think they're deeper.
Hill?
Yeah, I mean, I had Houston with or without Sasser coming out that bracket, and I'm gonna stick to it. You know what I mean? I'm gonna stick to my brackets. Knowing him going in to the fact that they have a good team. So I got them coming out. And that in general, it should be a struggle, but I got to stick with my original pick. I'm not going to waver. You know, I knew he was hurt for a while.
Okay. And whatchamacallit? I think I had Houston losing in the second round, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow.
So I think I think I'm gonna stick with that.
To Auburn.
Yeah, I'll stick with Auburn, but I actually had Iowa coming out of that matchup with Auburn. So it would have been Iowa. But so I'll switch it to Auburn. I think Sasser's injury is gonna be a bigger difference than anybody realizes. The next matchup in that region is Miami versus Indiana.
Yeah, it's one that I actually got right.
So did I.
Yeah, me too.
So I feel like kind of strong now. You know what I mean? So yeah, I got Indiana advancing to the Sweet 16. I'm gonna stick with it.
Yeah, I got Indiana going to that next round too.
Yeah, that was chalk for me. I had them going, Sweet 16.
And the next one I see is Pitt Xavier.
I'm gonna say I got this one right as well too. I got Xavier.
Yeah, I can't say that, but I did pick Xavier to beat Iowa State.
Yeah, me
so
too.
so I'm a roll with Xavier just to make myself look good. It's very
There you
you
go.
know you know
I want to say bus, P. I want to say
yeah
bus.
make me look good, Xavier. Make me look good.
Shout out to my man Capel with
Yeah,
Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm. Doing a
With that
good
Mike,
job out there.
you know what I mean?
surprise everybody.
Had me that's what had me leaning towards them winning. But yeah, I have this one like this. I have them losing this round though to Xavier.
Next game, Penn State, Texas.
Same thing. I actually struggled because I saw Texas A&M play and Penn State. I believe they both made the final game of their conference tournament,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
they both look solid to me.
Yeah.
That being said, I picked Texas A&M, and I was wrong. So but
Well,
I
they
did
won,
pick
I believe, right? Texas A&M won.
what
No, they
the
lost.
They played Penn State during
Yeah,
that
they
time.
played Penn State.
yeah Penn State. Now Penn State won. Yeah.
Penn
Penn
State
State
won.
won.
hmm
So
Yeah,
hmm I like
and
the
not by a little.
I forgot to sing his name, man. He reminds me of Dinwiddie, but he's a pretty good player. But I picked Texas to go to the Sweet 16 again. Make me look good, Texas.
And P, I want to say bus
Yeah.
again. I had picked Texas A&M. I felt that SEC was a stronger conference. That's what I went with. Um, but I also have Texas going forward after this round. So, like I said, Texas. Yeah. Hill, what about you?
yeah, I have to check my brackets. I think I might have the Horns playing Houston.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Now let's go to the Western region. That first game is Kansas, Arkansas.
Rock Chalk.
Yeah.
Little spoiler, I don't have Rock Chalk losing for a while. When I mean for a while, I mean never.
I got them playing in April actually too. I don't have to win in April, but I got to play in April also, Hill.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah.
That would,
So I got I got them over. Actually, this is looking good because I got both of them playing, and I have Kansas advancing. Arkansas is pretty talented, but I like that kid Wilson
Mm-hmm.
I like that kid from Wilson from Kansas. Solid player. So yeah.
The next one is St. Mary's and UConn.
I had the same Mary's versus Iona. I thought the upset would come through, but
Mm.
shout out to Hurley. I mean, he drugged. I mean, drugged Patino.
Pretty Ricky's what they call him.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with St. Mary's versus Kansas on this one.
Okay. Wow. All right. I
Yeah,
think I have UConn for this one, if I'm not mistaken.
I would think
Yeah.
so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have
No,
UConn also.
matter of fact,
Hold on.
I'm lying because I'm looking at my bracket now, and I have St. Mary's. I went with the Hill special.
Yeah,
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I have St. Mary's pulling up the upset from this one as well.
Well, I had UConn beating VCU, so again, go Huskies. Go Huskies.
The next one, TCU Gonzaga.
Oh, let me just quickly. I got both of them. Haven't seen either one of them play a game. I just went with Gonzaga over TCU.
oh, you're right. Yeah, the Horned Frogs are playing good basketball. But I'm going with the Zags on this one.
Yeah.
I got my VIP ticket already, P. I'm going with the Zags. It's a 3-P right here.
All right.
3 in a row. Next in the West is Northwestern UCLA.
I got this one right. I reluctantly got UCLA
Yeah, me too.
beating Northwestern. You know, not a Pac-12 guy myself, but I think they have enough to beat Northwestern.
Right after the, you know, I mean, I'm going for UCLA. You know my West Coast bias. And I just
Mm-hmm.
feel like it'll crumble at any moment. But UNC Asheville ran into that 33-point drugging. So UCLA, UCLA, I have coming out being into the Sweet 16.
I got UCLA moving on to the next round as well.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go over to the Eastern bracket. I'll start at the bottom of the bracket. Michigan State, Marquette.
Oof.
Mm.
I had both of these guys playing. I went with Shaka. I went with Shaka. Marquette
Yeah,
advancing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I went.
They
I
haven't.
went against. I went against the fold. I went with Izzo. Michigan State makes it to the next round on
Can't
my
be mad at
bracket.
that. Can't be mad
I
at
didn't
that.
have. I didn't have Michigan State coming out the first round.
Yeah, I
And
just again didn't see Michigan State. They have Izzo. I said he's good for at least one game.
yeah,
That
Yeah.
was it. Like, yeah, that was it.
Trojans winning that game.
Next game in that bracket is Kentucky, Kansas State.
Uh,
Uh,
the battle of
I
Patino, I guess what was first round of battle of Patino teams in Kentucky and Providence.
and know what? I actually had Providence pulling up an upset on Kentucky. I don't believe in Kentucky, honestly.
More so Cal.
Mm.
Let's be fair. More so Cal. And his coaching team. I mean, Kentucky has a good team down there. We just don't touch Cal.
Mm.
I got Kentucky versus Kansas State, and I feel Kentucky should win that game.
Okay, P.
likewise.
I have Kansas State
Mm.
moving on. Next, we're going up into. Next one is Duke, Tennessee.
You never
Uh,
play against Duke in these moments making the Sweet 16. With that being said, I'm gonna take the Vols.
mm.
It's just a different Duke team.
Yeah, this bracket is clean so far. I got Duke. I got Duke over Tennessee.
Yeah, I have Duke over Tennessee as well.
And I
Now
think
this is
we all got the next one right.
And this is
this is
why
where
this is why I said the
this is
bracket's
where
clean so far because
this is
now it
where
gets filthy.
the FDU versus FAU. I had FAU there, but I did not have FDU. So who do we think is going forward?
I was upset Memphis got the 8 seeds. I thought this was the hardest second round matchup to pick.
Right.
Lucky me. Now I don't have to pick it.
Flip a coin.
You know what? I go Philly Dickinson.
Jersey.
Yeah, just because of Jersey. But shout out to Florida Atlantic. I'm looking. They only lost 3 games the whole year. They're not used to losing games. But yeah, Jersey.
Yeah, I got my East bias too. I'm gonna go with FDU as well.
And know what? I'm going to be the contrarian of the group. I'm going FAU. P, you sold me as soon as you told me that they didn't lose more than 3 games this year.
Yeah.
And FDU, I think they've lost like 15 games this year. So, yeah, I'm gonna go with the team that's used to winning. Let's go up to the southern bracket, and this is where it gets messy again. We're gonna start at the bottom of the bracket. So that'd be Missouri versus Princeton. Who saw that coming?
I'm gonna stay consistent. I'm gonna show my neighbors some love. I'm gonna show Jersey love. I had this as a Missouri Arizona game, so
Yeah, me too. Oh my God.
I'm gonna go with Princeton.
Hill, where you at?
Yeah, I'm gonna go down with the slow down basketball too. Something is especially me. You knock off Arizona. You gotta be doing something right. We'll go with the Tigers.
And I think I'm gonna have to be contrarian again, man. I just think Arizona played terribly, and Princeton was able to take advantage of that. I don't know if they get to do that again against Missouri. I think Missouri moves forward. The Cinderella story stops for Princeton now. And plus, I'm kind of pissed that they beat out my Arizona team that I had going to at least the Sweet 16. The next matchup is Creighton versus Baylor. This is another one that messed up my bracket.
Yeah, I had Baylor going against NC State and Baylor advancing, so I'm going with Baylor. I'm going with Baylor.
I got a VIP ticket for that bus ride, P. I had the same thing. NC State versus Baylor, with Baylor advancing. So I'm gonna stay with Baylor. Phil, where you at?
Yeah, I mean, seem to be within the last 4 years, somewhat, powerhouses. The Bears have been consistent, so I'm gonna go with the Bears again, just like you guys. And have a good team and very well coached.
And the next matchup is kind of unfair. I hope that nobody's watching the game right now, but knowing us, we're probably all watching this game. San Diego State versus Furman.
I would have picked us versus Furman, to be fair. My small team bias. San Diego State right now is literally drugging them. Just to hedge out bets, but I would have chose San Diego State anyway.
Yeah, like you were saying earlier in the show, Hill, like sometimes the novices get it right with the people who watch it get it wrong. I was going to pick. I had San Diego State advance. I would have picked San Diego State because I thought Fisher was there. Apparently, he's not. so that's the reason I would have picked San Diego State. But yeah, we already know the end of the movie. So yeah, San Diego State.
Yeah. Moving on to the next matchup, Alabama, Maryland.
This is the one I actually love. I think watching the Alabama game, they just have an abundance of riches. Like the top-notch team in the tournament for me. That guy came off the bench at like three consecutive threes. Besides their regular wiry like type front lineups, it's like everyone out there seems like to be a Scotty Barnes type length. I feel
that's such a good comparison.
P's pick. I'll hedge my bets and say P's pick for Alabama is a little scary for me with KU. So I see them not having any type of resistance this tournament, hopefully until they reach Kansas, if we make it. But they are so dominant in this tournament.
I think it's a clean sweep. I think everybody here has Alabama moving forward.
Yeah. I had beaten Bobby Huggins, but shocker, Huggins lost early.
I don't want to rush our selections for the third round. I want to kind of let it take place and save something for the next show. And let's start talking about the women's bracket. I know for the most part, the women's bracket has been pretty much chalk. Everybody that's supposed to win has won, with the exception of NC State. They lost to Princeton, as I talked about at the top of the show. Are you guys looking at any women's games? Has my campaign to get you guys more invested in women's basketball been paying off, or what?
I don't think I'll be invested probably to the Final Four, to be honest.
Okay.
And that's it's nothing too much to do with the bias of women's basketball. I mean, I'm watching it so much. To be fair, like he said, like I wasn't really invested into the men's NCAA tournament within the last few years. It's just me catching a few games, having nostalgia of watching basketball at 12, 15 has me locked in. Just so happens the content has been able to catch me.
Hey guys, on social media, let us know your experience watching the March Madness Madness tournaments, men's and women's basketball tournaments. Hit us up on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit that notification button so you know when the next video is coming out. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen to your podcast. And you can hit us up directly at weneedthefifth@gmail.com. Fellas, I almost feel bad even asking this question because I think I know what the answer is. But what's on the radar?
Really? I'll narrow it down and say Houston, Auburn, Kansas, Arkansas. Those are the two games today that I'm really looking forward to. I'm locked into like all the games. You know what I mean? I miss San Diego State Furman because we're recording. I would have watched that. Like I'm all into this tournament right now. So yeah, that's what's on my radar specifically.
What's on your radar, man?
NCAA leading me up to, as you can see in the background. Hopefully, we don't do some piracy issues. UFC 286, Leon Edwards and Kamaru Usman Part 3. So for my UFC fans, that's a huge fight that's going to be going on tonight.
And I'm going to make it a trifecta. I think NCAA tournament, both men's and women's. Interested to watch all the games I can possibly watch today. So I'm going to be locked in today. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they just have the best product on the market. And shout out to, shout out to Nance, to Grant Hill, to Harlan,
Raftery.
They bring these games and bring that energy into these games. I mean, you couldn't have a better package of commentators, color analysts that they have for this game. NCAA has it right. You know what I mean? People have been doing the games. I've been excited with the product as well as how the games were being called. So, which makes it a very fun watch.
Yeah, definitely. This is an exciting time of the year. Like I said, with the NCAA tournament, March Madness, being truly mad for intents and purposes. Plus, we have the ending of the NBA season going into playoffs. So this is a really exciting time of year for basketball fans. So definitely load up, watch out. We're watching. And to all our fans and Fish, hey, listen, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Absolutely.
Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast, wherever you listen to your podcast. And hit us up. Social media, we out there. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. We have the Discord link in the description below. You can hit us up on Discord whenever there's a game playing for the March Madness tournaments. We'll be in the Discord sharing our opinion on the game and on the tournament thus far. So, hey, reach out to us. We want to hear from you guys. Fellas, anything else?
Rest in peace, Lance.
Yes.
Rest in peace. Definitely. And rest in peace to Lakers if AD is going to play like that.
Yeah, there's a clip on the internet. This good-looking guy that's saying that they were done, but I could check it out.
Yeah.
I kid. Ah man, tough sequence, AD. Tough sequence.
Yeah.
So, fellas, it's been real, man.
Discord. Let me see y'all in that Discord. I need to chat it up.
We need a Discord. We need to teach you people. Some people in there.
Hey.
Later, y'all.
Go Jayhawks.
Until they play Alabama. Yes.
Wow. Peace.